Okay. Okay. I'm live. My name is Aditi, and I'll be hosting today's live session. Thank you all for joining in. Explain the topic. So for today's weekly career class, we will be talking about is BMS better than BBA for commerce students? And for that, we have joining us today as our expert speaker, Mr. Shriish. I'll just give a brief introduction. So, Mr. Shriish is a certified career counselor and NLP practitioner. He's also the founder of the Career Beacon. Apart from that, he's also a chartered accountant and holds a degree in business administration in finance from IMT Ghaziabad. In his journey as a counselor, he has guided more than 200 students to find their desired career path. Welcome and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Aditi, and thank you to iDreamCareer for choosing such a relevant topic today. I think all those students who have this confusion, which is better? Is it BBA? Is it BMS? कई बार मेरे पास ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स आते हैं जो ये सोचते हैं कि one is for commerce with mathematics, the other is for non-mathematics. Or my friend is doing a BMS. Should I do a BBA? Is there a difference? So अगर इस तरह का कोई भी confusion है students के mind में, then this presentation is going to be extremely beneficial for you. So stay with us till the end. So
Okay.
with that, yeah.
Yeah, I just have one thing to say. So we will be taking up questions and he will be answering your questions. So if you have any, you can just post it down in the live chat box and we'll take it up. So with that, I think you can take over. We can start.
Thank you. So basically, we'll be covering the following sections in today's presentation. So firstly, we're going to discuss what are the similarities and what are the differences between the two courses. And then we look at what is the current scenario. How are these two courses, how they have changed over a period of time? And, how should we look at these courses now? And then finally, we'll look at how do we actually choose between the two and what factors we should look at when we come to deciding what course I should choose for myself. And then towards the end, we'll also look at some unique courses and some new age courses that are now being offered by different colleges and institutions. And yeah, so with that, I'm going to start the presentation. So, first, talking about the similarities of both BMS and BBA. So BMS and BBA both are for 3 years. Now, with the new education policy, a lot of the institutions have been offering it for 4 years also. And of course, it's optional. There's an exit option after 3 years. And for those who want to do an honors or a research, they can do it for a fourth year as well. In terms of the course content also, they're not exactly the same, but there are a lot of similarities between both the courses. So you would be studying the core management principles. You'll be studying different theories about human resources, marketing, finance, operations. So these are some of the subjects or elements which will be common to both BMS and BBA. Also, in terms of the eligibility criteria, both are open to all the streams, which means अगर आप humanities से हैं हो या फिर आप commerce background से हो या science background से हो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. You can apply for both the courses. However, there are some institutes that have this restriction that they require mathematics in class 12. So we will talk about that separately. Also, when it comes to the admission process is very similar. most of the premium institutes or the prominent institutes, they will have some form of entrance examination. So जितने अच्छे institutes हैं उनका कोई ना कोई entrance examination होगा. Examination में they will be testing similar things. So they'll be testing your language comprehension. So there will be verbal reasoning, there will be logical reasoning, and there will be some numerical reasoning. Apart from that, institute to institute, thoda variation hoga. Some of them, after you've cleared the exam, they will have some sort of an essay or interview. So that will vary from institute to institute. So, here we talked about what are the similarities between both the courses. Now I'm going to talk about what are the key differences between them. Now, having said that, a lot of these differences now do not exist in the present scenario. So BMS or a Bachelor's in Management Studies was a course that came in before BBA. ये BBA से पहले आया था. And the focus of this program was, to impart education about the fundamentals of the principles of management. So it was more theoretical, more analytical, and it focused more about explaining, what is business, what are the functions, what are the principles of running a business. So the focus was more theoretical and analytical. However, BBA as a course does talk about the basic principles of management, but at the same time it is more application oriented. So it focuses more on what if you have to actually manage a business today, then what are the problems you will face, what can be the solutions to it. So it is more application oriented. In terms of the fee structure, a lot. It is considered that BMS is supposed to be less expensive than BBA. However, now that is not the case. It depends upon institute to institute. If we talk about the specializations being offered, historically, these specializations that were offered, in a BMS is restricted to the core functions, HR, finance, marketing, and operations. But if you look at BBA, because it is a more application-oriented course, you have a lot of industry-specific specializations like real estate, BBA in advertising, BBA in business analytics. So the number of specializations are a lot more. Also, in terms of internships, like I said, the focus of BMS program has been more theoretical and more analytical. So internships are generally not a compulsory element of the program. It is recommended. A lot of the time, students they take it up on their own. But when we talk about BBA, many institutes now have it as a compulsory element. So these were the key differences between BMS and a BBA course. However, with the changing times, lot of changes have taken place, and the current scenario is that the difference between both the courses has blurred. Okay, so the naming and or the nomenclature has actually become irrelevant now. Okay, there is a lot of variation. Earlier there used to be a variation, but now there's not much variation between BBA and BMS. So, a lot of the times आप देखेंगे कि कोर्स का नाम BMS है, बट जो कोर्स का करिकुलम है और जो कोर्स को पढ़ाने का तरीका है, that is similar to that of a BBA course. Also, within the even within the BBA course, you'll see that there's a lot of variation. So, a BBA course offered by one institution will be the course curriculum can be different from the BBA curriculum of another institution. So now, that difference has sort of dissipated or difference has blurred. So, that is what the present scenario is. So we cannot simply rely on the naming. We cannot just assume that, oh, BBA है तो ये ज़्यादा practical होगा, BMS है तो कम practical होगा. We have to, actually look at the course content. So, for example, just to give you an example, I've taken this structure of a BMS program by Delhi University. So, Delhi University offers not a BBA, but a BMS. If you would look into the basic course structure, they have core courses. So, core courses are those courses which you have to compulsorily take. Okay. Then you have certain generic electives. Generic electives are again they are not core courses. They are optional courses, but they are available to all the disciplines, which means all the specializations. Whether you are from marketing, finance, anybody can take it. Then you have specialization specific electives. These are subjects that can be taken only by people who have chosen a certain specialization. So let's say if you have taken up finance as a specialization, then only those subjects you can take which are related to finance. If you have chosen marketing, then you can take only marketing specific electives. Then you have certain skill enhancement courses. Let's say, for example, communication or Excel or PowerPoint. These help you work in the corporate sector in a better way. It enhances your productivity. And similarly, you have your ability enhancement compulsory courses also. So just to give you an example of these kind of courses. So for example, you have in the general electives, you have entrepreneurship, new venture creation, money and banking. Or if we talk about ability enhancement courses, you have e-commerce, personality development. So traditionally, if we spoke about how typically BMS course should be, then these electives or these courses should not be there. But with time, like I said, the course has also evolved and it has become similar to a BBA course. This was just to give you an example. Similarly, if you look at the BBA course also offered by two different institutes. For example, you have BBA by Symbiosis Pune and you have BBA by NMIMS Mumbai, both very reputed institutes, both have their own entrance examinations. Now, if you'll see in terms of the specializations, if we talk about Symbiosis, they are offering some common specializations like HR, marketing, finance, and they have other majors also like international business and entrepreneurship. Then they are offering certain unique minors which you can take along with the majors. So you have environmental management, business analytics. Then they have a corporate internship built into their program, which means that it is compulsory and the institute will arrange an internship for you in a company. Then you also have an NGO internship, which means that for a certain period of time, you will be mandatorily working with an NGO. आप किसी एक NGO के साथ काम करोगे. This will give you a social perspective and it will aid your personality development. Then they also have global immersion program, which means that you have the option of going outside with some and study in a university with whom they have a partnership. If we talk about NMIMS, they are offering two specializations, marketing and finance. Instead of having unique majors, they have separate BBA programs like BBA in advertising and branding, BBA in international business. They also have corporate internship, but they don't have an NGO internships. Apart from that, they have industrial visits built into their program. So you see that despite both being BBA programs, दोनों के एलिमेंट्स में, दोनों के पढ़ाने के तरीके में थोड़ा थोड़ा फर्क है और उनके स्पेशलाइजेशंस जो वो ऑफर कर रहे हैं उनमें भी फर्क है. So this was just to give you an example that हम सिर्फ नाम पे रिलाई नहीं कर सकते हैं, हमें एग्जैक्ट कोर्स कंटेंट और टीचिंग पेडागोजी पे ध्यान देना होगा. So now we move on to the section wherein we discuss how do we actually decide which course to pursue and how do we decide which BBA university or college or which BBA course to pick. So before I move on to this section, is there any question right now that we want to take up?
Uh, We have one question. So Sonia asks, can students with humanities also take up BMS or BBA?
Yes, Sonia, thank you for that question. Yes, like I said, both the programs, they are open to students from all the streams, whether humanities, science, or commerce. However, certain colleges, they have their eligibility criteria. Like, for example, Narsi Monji NMIMS Mumbai. For them, in order to appear for their entrance examination, mathematics needs to be there in 11th and 12th. So which means that you can be a humanities student also, but with mathematics. Similarly, if you want to if you want to go for a BMS program that is offered by Delhi University, so I think there are 9 colleges, if I'm correct, that are offering BMS. And again, the process is that you have to appear for CUET. And if you look into the subjects for which you have to appear for the BMS program, mathematics is one of them. So again, so that is an eligibility criteria. You can be from any stream, but you have to have mathematics as a subject. But if we talk about, let's say, symbiosis, then in that case, they don't have that criteria. So you can be from any stream and any subject. So I hope I've answered your question.
Yeah. So we had actually one similar question. I think we've answered that also. Another student had asked the similar question, that the student is for science background and if they can pursue BMS because they want to be in a management industry. I think that also is very similar to the previous question, just the stream was different. So I think we've covered that as well. Or would you like to add anything if you?
Like I said, that see, we have to understand what these courses are doing. These are basically courses about how do you manage a business, how do you become a good manager. So a good manager can come from any stream. A lot of people from science background, after doing their BTech, they do an MBA, so they get into management. Doctors get into management, architects get into management. So management is not something that is restricted to people coming from a particular domain or a particular stream. Anyone with the right guidance can be a good manager. So that is why the course is designed in a way so that nobody is excluded. Okay.
Okay. Uh, so we can move on to the next part.
Yeah. So now we come to how do we actually decide what is the course that we should go for. So let's look at the factors. So the first one being that हमें नाम पे नहीं जाना है कि वो BMS है इसका मतलब ऐसा होगा, BBA है इसका मतलब ऐसा होगा. We cannot go with any preconceived notions. The first factor we should look at is the college reputation. Because if the college has a good reputation, that means it will be able to attract good faculty. It will be having good infrastructure. It will be having good connect with the industry. जब आप एक मैनेजमेंट के प्रोग्राम में जाते हो तो बहुत जरूरी है कि आप जिस कॉलेज में जा रहे हो, जिस इंस्टीट्यूशन में जा रहे हो, उनका इंडस्ट्री के साथ कनेक्ट बहुत अच्छा हो. क्योंकि अगर इंडस्ट्री के साथ कनेक्ट अच्छा होगा, सो उनके प्लेसमेंट्स अच्छे होंगे, उनकी इंटर्नशिप्स अच्छी होंगी. जो एक मैनेजमेंट प्रोग्राम होता है वो सिर्फ एक बुक से पढ़ाने जाने वाला प्रोग्राम नहीं होता है. There are a lot of elements into it. So you will be obviously having textbook, there will be classroom learning, but classroom learning के अलावा you will have guest lectures. Guest lectures where people from the industry will be coming in and sharing their life experience, their real life experience. Then you have group projects, then you have industrial visits, you have corporate internships. So all of these factors combined, they make for a complete management program experience. So only some institute that has good industry interface will be able to give that. So college reputation is very important. Then the next thing that we should look at is what is the specialization. जो specialization मुझे चाहिए वो वो इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफर कर रहा है या नहीं कर रहा है. So let's say I want to, specialize in HR, human resources. I'm somebody who's very empathetic. I like talking to people. I like helping people. So is that college offering that specialization? Is that college known for that specialization? Or let's say I want to go for a very specific specialization, let's say in analytics or let's say in advertising. Is that college offering that specialization? So we need to understand, कि हमें कौन से specialization में जाना है and whether that college is offering that specialization. Then the third thing we should look at is the course curriculum. So when we are looking at the course curriculum, we should see whether, like we were just looking at the Delhi University course curriculum. So whether some important, skill-based courses are there, electives are there or not. Like for example, analytics or communication, all these are there or not. Also, we should look at, the teaching methodology. So, like I said, there should be a lot of practical exposure in whatever course you're going for. It should not be just be a bookish, kind of teaching. So let's say, for example, nowadays a lot of colleges are offering entrepreneurship as a specialization. Now, entrepreneurship is not something, अगर आपको एक entrepreneur बनना है, आप सिर्फ बुक में पढ़ के नहीं बन सकते. बहुत सारे कॉलेजेस ऐसे हैं जो entrepreneurship के specializations offer तो कर रहे हैं, but it's just bookish, whatever they are teaching. However, some of them are really good at it. What they will do is they will have, an incubating center wherein you can actually, जहाँ पे एक incubation center होगा, जहाँ पे आप actually टीचर्स के साथ मिल के अपने आइडियाज को डेवलप कर सकते हैं. वो लोग बिजनेस से लोगों को लेके आएंगे जो लोग एक्चुअली आपके आइडियाज को फंड कर सकते हैं. यू विल बी टॉकिंग टू मेंटर्स who have created their own startups. So you should look at, what kind of teaching methodology and what kind of practical exposure is being offered by your college, in forms of internships, in form of, NGO internships, in the form of industrial visits, guest lectures. So that is very important. And lastly, you should look at placement statistics. All reputed colleges, when you go to their website, they will be having a section on placements wherein they will be sharing some information about how placements have been in the past few years. So you should definitely look at the placement statistics, how many students have been placed, what has been the average salary. Don't just look at the highest salary. You should look at what is the average salary that students have been getting over there. Apart from that, these are obviously the main factors or the primary guiding factors. Uh, Other factors you should also look at is, whether the location is something that is easily accessible to you. Maybe, it can be a case that maybe you have aging parents and you are the only person to look after them. Then you should also be in close proximity to them in case there's some, medical situation at home. So location is also an important factor, and fee structure is also something you would need to look at. So to summarize, instead of just looking at BMS and BBA names, you should look at these factors and then take a decision accordingly. So I hope I was able to clarify in terms of how one should take a decision. If there are any
So,
questions at this point, we can.
yeah. So, we talked about placements. There is a question
Yeah.
regarding that. So, Priyanka has asked, are
Yeah.
internships and placements broadly equivalent and open across both the degrees, or does one have an advantage over the other?
Uh, Thanks, Priyanka, for asking that question. Uh, in terms of placements, in terms of internships, again, BMS है या BBA है, उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. It will depend upon the quality of the institution और उस institution का industry के साथ कैसा connect. So it can be even across all BBA colleges, they will not have the same kind of internships and the same kind of placements. Uh, the more premium BBA colleges will have better placements. Some of them जिनका ज़्यादा industry के साथ connect होगा, they will get you internships. So you will get campus internships options only. In some of them, one might have to look at one's own sources. हो सकता है आपको खुद से internships के लिए अपने contacts use करने पड़े. So again, it is not BMS versus BBA. It depends upon the quality of the institution. And that will affect the placements as well as the internship opportunities that you will get. Does that answer your question, Priyanka?
Uh, I think we can move on.
Okay.
We can move
So
on from the
now,
next slide. We won't be
great,
knowing right now.
great.
Yeah.
So, moving on to the next section, now I'm going to talk about certain unique programs that one should look at. A lot of the times, students are not aware that,
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry
yeah,
to interrupt. We just got in a question. I think it was
yes,
regarding the question that we answered. So Varidhi has asked, what if a college is good at placement, but the curriculum is not aligned with my interest? I'm the only earning person, so I need to get into job
um,
right
Aditi, I'm not.
after college.
Aditi, I couldn't hear the audio. I think,
Issue. Hi.
could you just
Were you
repeat the
able to hear
question?
me?
No, I was not able
Okay.
to hear.
Yeah. I'll repeat the question one. I'll just repeat the question. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So Varidhi has asked, what if a college is good at placement, but the curriculum is not aligned with my interest? I'm the only earning person, so I need to get into job right after college.
Yes, Paridhi, I think that's a very situational question. Everybody will have a different answer to it. So I will just give you my personal opinion. I would personally feel that one should first give preference to a college which has the course that is of your interest, because ultimately you're not looking for only a job, you're looking for a long term career. So you would want to sustain into a career which is of your interest. So let's say for example your interest is human resources. Again, you want to work with people, you want to help people, you want to help the organization grow, you want to motivate people. But the institute that you're talking about is offering finance, and doesn't have HR as an option, or is not, known for that. And mostly the placements that are being offered is in finance role. So, initially you might just take up that role in finance, but in the long run, will you be able to connect with it? Will you be able to exploit the opportunities? You might feel dissatisfied after a certain amount of time that, oh, what am I doing? You might not connect with numbers and finance, as you are more of a people's person. So my personal take is that one should look at long-term benefits, and definitely I would look at choosing a college which gives me a course of my preference. But at the same time, I would also see that the college has at least decent placements. Yeah, I think that is how I would
Okay.
like to think about it.
Okay. I think there was some audio issues in between, so I hope Varidhi, you got your answer. Okay, we can continue.
So now we look at certain unique courses in BBA and BMS. So here I'm going to talk about these courses, which are 3-year courses, and for at a graduation level. So firstly, we have Shahid Sukhdev College of Business Studies. Now, this is a part of Delhi University, and it is arguably the best college in India when it comes to these courses.
I
And yeah, is the audio again a problem?
think
Aditi, is my voice audible? Because I'm not able to hear you.
hello.
Yeah, is my voice audible?
Hi. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. Am I on?
I think there's a connection. There's a lag. Can you? There's a lag with your audio, and sometimes your video is also not visible. I think there's some internet issue.
Okay.
Yeah, right now it's fine, but when you were speaking, it was not. Can we like start again from like the from this section again?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
So,
great.
yeah. So the first college I want to talk about is Shahid Sukhdev College of Business Studies. It is a part of Delhi University, and it has two courses that I want to talk about. The first one being a BMS, and the second one is a BBA in Financial and Investment Analysis. So I've listed the FIA specialization because it is something that many people don't know about. The BMS course is fairly known. Now, this course in financial and investment analysis is specifically for those people who have an inclination towards core finance and they want to make a career in finance as a financial analyst or as an investment analyst, and as an equity analyst, wherein they want to do research on share prices and how to value investments. So it is a very rigorous course and it is very well recognized in the industry. I know of people who have got very good placements after this course. The entrance is through CUET. It is a very competitive course, though, and you have to have mathematics in class 12. Now, the next one that I want to talk about is NMIMS in Mumbai. They have two specific BBA specializations. The first one is advertising and branding, and the third one is BBA in international business, wherein the students get to pursue this course for 2 years in Mumbai and 1 year in London. And also, they have a lot of value add courses like international languages, and so this is a good course for those who are looking at international business. Narsi Monji is a very reputed institution, and the entrance is through NPAT examination. Again, uh, for some of its courses, NMIMS looks for compulsorily having mathematics in 12th, but for these two courses, you can be from any stream, and having mathematics is not compulsory. For their general BBA program, they do require mathematics in class 12. Now, the next one is Christ University. So, Christ University in Bangalore also has some unique specializations in fintech. So, fintech is a very hot industry now. For those who may not know, fintech is financial technology. So, combining finance with technology is called fintech. Then BBA in business analytics, BBA in tourism and travel management. So these are some of the unique courses, and the entrance for Christ University is through their own entrance test, which is the Christ University entrance test. And apart from the test, they also have some other processes like written essay and interview as well. Now, in this one, I want to talk about certain integrated courses. Now, I'm not sure if a lot of people are aware about integrated courses, which means that these are 5 year courses. And immediately after your 12th, once you start this course, you would be completing your BBA and MBA together. So you would be completing your graduation and post graduation together. So five of the IIMs are offering these integrated programs in management. IIM Indore, Rohtak, Bodh Gaya, Jammu, and Ranchi. And all of them are through entrance examinations. So IIM Indore and IIM Rohtak, they have one common entrance examination called IP MAT. IIM Bodh Gaya and Jammu, the entrance is JIP MAT. And IIM Ranchi also is through IP MAT, but this is a different IP MAT than IIM Indore. So through these three entrance examinations, you can get into these five IIMs. Now, the benefit of these programs is that you once you complete the 5 years, you get the same placements as those people who have done their MBA after clearing the CAT examination and taking admission through in their MBA program. So the placements are exactly the same, and same kind of companies, same packages, everything is the same. And compared to CAT, these examinations are relatively easier. So you can say that these are easier entry pathways to IIMs. Now, one thing, however, one needs to be careful about is that you need to be very sure that you want to do an MBA after a BBA. Although you do have an exit option after 3 years for these programs, but still, if you're getting into it, then you need to go with that mindset that yes, I want to go for complete 5 years. So that is one thing. And the second thing is that in terms of the fee, they would be if you compare it with some other degree, like let's say a BCom or a BSc or a BA, of course they would be more expensive. So on an average, they would cost you about 8 lakhs rupees per annum. So this whole course of 5 years would cost you about 40 lakhs. But the placements and the IM brand name would of course be there. Uh, Another one that has come up in the last 2 years is IIFT, or Indian Institute of Foreign Trade. So they have come up with a new campus in Andhra Pradesh, and they are offering also a 5 year program wherein you do a BBA in business analytics and then an MBA in international business. So for जिनको नहीं पता है, IIFT is one of the premier institutes in India for international business. So again, this can be a program to look out for. And entrance again is through IPMAT exam. So, I thought it would be very relevant to talk about these programs because many students, they don't know that after 12th also there's an opportunity to get into the IIMs through these integrated programs. So you can definitely look at these programs also. And uh, yeah, so thank you for being there. Thank you for listening. If there are any further questions, we can take it up.
So there is one question. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So there's this question asked by Shreya.
Yeah, sure. Uh, Aditi, I think there's a
Is
voice lag again.
it worth trying for both BBA MBA program, or does getting into one makes the other redundant? Shreya has
Sorry, there
asked,
was a
is
lag.
it worth? Is it clear now?
Yes, it's clear now.
Okay. So the question is it worth trying for both IIM Indore, IPM, and integrated BBA MBA programs, or does getting into one makes the other redundant?
So, I didn't get the question correctly, but what I understand, are you trying to say that if you get admission into the integrated program in management, then the MBA program becomes redundant? Is that what she's trying to ask?
We'll have to wait
You
for
can.
the answer.
Yeah.
Explain it to
Could you
them.
please
Maybe
clarify your.
that's the question what they're asking. Okay, we can move on to the next question then. Uh, Let me just see what other questions we've got. So Shazam has asked, do we have the flexibility to switch between BMS and BBA if we start in one program, but later feel the other is a better fit for my interest and strengths?
No, Shazam, there's no such flexibility. I think we have to be careful in deciding right from the beginning. If you have gone for one program, then you have, and you want to switch, then you'll have to start from scratch again in the next program. Yeah, Aditi, am I audible?
I'm unsure what career paths and job roles are actually open for BMS graduates. What are some of the key industry opportunities for each?
Yeah, Aditi, I'm sorry I couldn't hear the question again. There was a lag again in the audio. Can you just please
Okay.
repeat the question?
Yeah. I'll just repeat the question. So the question is, I am unsure what career paths and job roles are actually open for BMS graduates and BBA graduates. What are some of the key industry opportunities for each?
Okay, great question. So, the opportunities that are available will depend upon what kind of specialization you have taken. So, like I said, you could get into marketing, you could get into finance, you could get into human resources, you could get into operations. So, depending upon what kind of specialization you have taken, you would be offered various kinds of roles. So, let's say, for example, if you have you've done your specialization in marketing, so you would probably start as a management trainee, or as a senior executive in marketing. You would be responsible for assisting the marketing manager in developing pricing strategies or promotion strategies. Or if you're working in the human resource department, you would work as a senior HR executive. You would be, working under the marketing manager, and you would be conducting recruitments. You would be going for recruitment drives. You would be, making job descriptions. You would be assisting the manager in drafting performance appraisals. So it all depends upon what kind of specialization you have chosen, and the opportunities will come accordingly. I think that is where
Okay.
that is where
Uh,
getting the right kind of career guidance will be very useful for you.
okay. I think that has answered the question. Let's take up another by Ruchita. The question is it a good idea to take BBA general and then choose major minors rather than BBA with specialization?
Very good question. Unless and until you're very sure about, the specialization that you want to go for, it is a good idea to go for BBA General and go for majors and minors. I always, as a thumb rule, my personal opinion is that your career path should be like that of a pyramid. It should be broad at the base, and as you go higher and higher in terms of your post graduation, in terms of your PhD, you should start specializing. The base should be broad, which means at a graduation level you should keep more options open, and as you move on to higher levels of your education, you can narrow it down and specialize more. Unless and until, of course, if you're very sure right from the beginning that, okay, this is the specialization I want to go for. Because if you've kept your base only narrow, then afterwards, and and you feel that, no, I've taken a wrong call, or this is not something I'm liking, then it becomes slightly difficult to come back or reverse your decision. Okay, so I would feel that, to summarize, it is a good idea to go for a general BBA, unless and until you're very sure that this is the specialization I have to go.
Okay. I think that has answered the question. We have, I think, one last question.
Yeah.
The question is, I'm interested in marketing. Would BMS or
Yes.
BBA provide better exposure and opportunities in that field specifically, or should I go for something else?
So I think that you can definitely look at a BBA and BMS. They would provide you good opportunities in the field of marketing. You can take up marketing as a major, or as your major in BBA or BMS, because at a graduation level, they are one of the more industry oriented courses, and which lead to which lead to better placements. And apart from that, what you can do is that, if you are somebody who is, creative, if you're somebody who has an interest in that area, you can do some add-on courses in, let's say digital marketing, along with your BBA, and that can further enhance your job prospects. They can, and open up more opportunities for you. So yeah, you can go for a BBA and BM. It'll be BMS. It'll be a good call, and you can have some add-on courses which will further add on to your BBA degree or a BMS degree.
Okay. We just got another question. We'll just take it up. I think that's the last. It's by Richa.
Yeah,
And
Richard.
she asks, for integrated courses, where can we take coaching to appear for entrance exams?
Okay. Yeah, Richa. So for integrated courses, I don't know which city you're located in, but there are a lot of coaching institutes that are there pan India. So we have many of them. We have Career Launcher, we have Time, and in Delhi, if we talk about, we have Alchemist. So yeah, so these are some of them that are like Career Launcher and Time are operating on a pan India basis, and every city has their own specific institute as well. So you would need to do some research on that. What I personally recommend is that, to all the students, is that you should go and visit the institute and take first hand feedback from the students who are studying there, and instead of just relying on what is written on the website or the reviews which are there available online, because the first hand information that you get in terms of how the faculty is in that particular branch and what has been the result of that branch in terms of how many students have succeeded, that is very important. So you should definitely visit and do a first hand survey if you're looking for coaching.
Okay. So Vadidi has asked another question. I want to know one
Yeah.
more thing. Which specialization has a better scope?
So again,
That's
a
the
question
question.
that is asked by many. So again, the scope of a specialization varies from student to student. I may have a scope in marketing, but if I'm not a good fit for it, marketing may have a lot of scope, but that scope may not be for me, because I may not be a good fit for marketing. I may be a finance person, and somebody who's a finance person, somebody who's not a finance person, if that person gets into finance, then he or she will not be able to exploit the scope that finance has. So, scope is there in all the specializations. You need to be a right fit for that specialization, or the specialization needs to be a right fit for you. So, that is obviously something, unless and until we meet and discuss, it is hard to comment on that.
Okay. We got another question. It's by
Yes.
Vasant. I'm a digital marketer with 3 years experience, but I don't have any technical degree like BCA, BTech, etc. So which course is good for me? Please suggest.
So are you already a graduate, Vasant? Because I need to see what level have you studied till. Accordingly, I can recommend a course. Are you a 12th pass out? Are you a graduate? Are you a postgraduate? Accordingly, I think that question would need to be answered.
Yes. Okay, then.
No. Aditi, there's a lag
I
again
answered
in
your
this.
question already. Thank you for your question. No, I'm not graduated. I think that means.
You're not a graduate, and you have 3 years of work.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Am I audible?
Should I repeat? Yeah, you're audible. Should I repeat the question once again?
Yes, please.
Okay. So Vasant had asked, I'm a digital marketer with 3 years experience, but I don't have any technical degree like BCA, BTech, etc. Which course is good for me? Please suggest. Vasant has also said that I'm a 12th pass out.
Okay, Vasant. First of all, it would be good that you get a degree because, as you mentioned, you are a 12 pass out and you have 3 years of experience, but you have not yet gone for a graduation. So, firstly, I would recommend that you go for a graduation. You should go for a graduation, and the course would again depend upon. It is not something that can be answered without meeting you and looking at what are your aptitudes, what's your interest area. So it would be hard to say, but on the basis of the limited information I have, if you're somebody working in digital marketing, you are somebody who's a creative person, you can look at courses in mass communication, you can look at courses in advertising. So these are some areas you can look at.
Okay, thank you. I think with that we can wrap up the session. Uh, so I would like to thank you for sharing your expertise and taking out the time to joining us today. And I hope all of the questions that we've answered, so everybody got their answers. If you still have any more questions related to the career or related to this live also, you can simply scan the QR code on your screen and it will take you to our web app. There you will be able to see an ask me anything option where you can get answers directly from our expert counselors. So you can go ahead and explore that. Thank you so much for the live today and sharing all the valuable things that you've shared today.
Thank you. It was a
I
pleasure being
think that
here.
we have covered a lot. You know, yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you,
Just
Aditi,
want
and
to
thank
say
you to
that we don't have any